Hey yo,
Hey, 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 hey.
did it. We did it.
We did it. We're back.
Back. We're back. Not the
We're
show.
live.
The market. The NFTs.
Things are happening.
New NFTs that have minted are pumping. Of course, Valhalla that everybody has heard about, but even Junie is making a move. The anime meta is live and well, with other projects in the same style also seeing volume upticks. And of course, Azuki itself with a huge sale yesterday, a rare going for 100 ETH, I believe. So,
Ooh.
NFTs, are they back? Look, I don't want to say called it, but I really did get this gut feeling when I saw the ape staking, right? Because we know that like nobody believes yield anymore. Like yield, yield's not a real fucking thing. There's no such thing as yield. Who's the yield? If you don't know who the yield is, it's you, right? Like this is how people think of crypto right now. To see Bored Ape holders, and that would also mean mutants and kennel clubs, so the dogs as well, seeing them stake their assets and get real money in return, like a couple $100 a day, even just for the mutants in return. Like that's bull market money. That's bull market yield. All right. That is getting people excited again, I believe. Not that they, and I am seeing a lot of volume uptick on the dogs, the mutants, and the apes as people want to get in on this staking. But I think innately people just feel like shit, is yield back? And hell, we talked about it yesterday. We're going into the most bullish seasonality for NFTs, which is the end of December, beginning of January and February. And we are also coming with macro tailwinds from what was a soft CPI, surprise soft CPI yesterday. So there's really a lot that suggests we could have a little mini NFT bull run here. And what does it really mean? If NFTs went back to their ETH highs, we'd all still be down 75% in USD, right? Like it's not to say we're going to go back to all-time highs. It's to say there's probably a few X to be made here in certain collections if we have a little mini NFT bull run.
Yeah, good morning to you too. I'm great.
Good morning.
I was just like, I said, hey, and you just went, I don't know.
I don't know.
Sometimes I wish you were on camera because I think you're either more animated or not animated at all when you're kind of getting hyped up like that.
I am wearing a Christmas Santa hat.
I didn't ask what you were wearing. I just feel like, are you like, when you're talking into the microphone like that, are you doing like the Jim Cramer, like, it's time to buy?
When someone says have my baby, I tend to start describing what I'm wearing. It's just a
okay. Clout Cobain.
Yeah, I don't know who that is, but they
no idea.
Have my baby.
Yeah. Well, wow. It is Wednesday, December 14th, halfway through December. Wow. What are we, 11 days away from Christmas?
Halfway through.
Have I seen FMC in real life? I have not seen him with like my own eyes in person, but I have seen pictures of him. He is a real person. He is not Wes Mosley.
Exactly. I was just going to say
I am not Wes Mosley.
We can confirm.
Also know that Charlie Hilton is not Wes Mosley.
And he has a public presence because he's well known for stuff outside of Star Wars.
Yeah. Just like that was one of the best tweets I've ever seen. I've done zero diligence into this, but I am almost certainly confident that this is Wes.
And there was another thread. Did you see the other thread where they were like, "Yeah, we're pretty sure this is also
it happened up again."
Like, do your own research is a meme. Nobody ever does it. It's just a meme.
Well, and I think I responded to him too. I was like, dude, like I have what are we on? Episode 175, clocking in at an hour and a half each. I mean, what, almost 300 hours? Well, with exit liquidity and some other stuff, yeah, probably 300 hours worth of like, this is my face on YouTube and you talking.
I have no desire, just like crypto and NFTs. I have no desire to convince anybody that NFTs are where they should be allocating their money. I have no desire to convince people crypto is a good idea. I have no desire to convince anybody I'm not Wes Mosley. Go ahead, go FUD us. Please start to do some free marketing for us. We're all for it.
Yeah, that FUD works for
yeah, I'm not dissuading them. The only thing I ever do on those posts is post the Spider-Man pointing at Spider-Man meme. That's my only response to anything.
You need to have a couple more in your bag, though.
No.
No. No. Okay. All right. Fine. I can't argue with that.
You're not very monotonistic. I would love for a conspiracy to spring up. People start being like, look at this, another scam. And then the floor price will start rising. Everyone's going, wait, why is the floor going? Oh, and then people with early mindsets start to go in, and then it goes up even. Please, go ahead. I'm Wes Mosley. Why not?
We are all Wes Mosley.
There you go.
I want to get a t-shirt that has like the "Hi, my name is" and just put like Wes Mosley on it.
Is that even a real name?
No, it's not.
Yeah.
That was an alias. That was an alias that it was discovered to not be his real name. But then someone or some people took it on themselves to believe that if Wes Mosley is two kind of just generic names mashed together to create a pseudonym, that anybody with an actual first and last name must also be a pseudonym, as if there aren't like, what, 400 million, well, a couple billion people that operate in the world like that. I know not all cultures have the same like syntax, but I mean, you know, a large portion of the world operates on a first and last name basis.
I don't even know or care what his real identity is. I was just curious as to if Mosley, because I was like, that sounds like Star Wars to me.
Oh, I don't think it was like taken from somewhere.
Because Mosley, it's where Luke lives in the first movie.
What? No, that's Mos Eisley, but nice try.
Oh, all right.
You're actually close. Yeah, I'll give you that.
I thought
maybe you're onto something. Maybe he lived in West Mos Eisley.
See? Oh, ooh, man, what if? Wow, if it's George,
now they're gonna be like, see, you know what the name means. Clearly, you are him.
Yes.
I would assume that most people listening and watching right now know who Wes Mosley is, the founder of the Galactic Apes. And if you're not, active or paying attention to Star Wolves, we are now the proud owners of the Galactic Apes. Owners is a, owners partners with.
I have seen 3 of these now. Someone just tried to list a Valhalla for 1.9 ETH, and they made a mistake. I'm sure you can guess how that
0.19?
Yeah.
Today, you've seen 3 of them today?
No. Oh, since the collection has started to.
Oh, yeah. Well, I mean, it's got fucking
random people.
12,000 ETH in volume. I'm sure a couple fat fingers have happened.
I saw a 0.14, a 0.12, and now a 0.19. Well, I thought
feels bad, man.
Yeah, I thought I would point it out just so that there's no hurry, guys. Just pause. Look.
Well, we're gonna talk about. Oh, looks like we're gonna talk about Valhalla in a little bit. I did sell one. I sold one this morning, and it sold quickly.
Yeah, he was like, "Let me list this," and it sold. He was
so I mean, full disclosure, when we're talking about stuff, we obviously both minted this, and we are owners of said project. But when it dropped down to mint price, I did buy one more. I thought about buying other ones, but this was pre-reveal. But I decided that I had taken the position I was comfortable with and held it. But now, since the floor is at 1.5, incredible run it's having, I just de-risked. Right, I haven't taken any profit out of the collection, but it is now pure profit, so I'm happy with that. I have 2 left, and one should be good.
Yep, and volume has slowed down this morning. They were moving, every few seconds.
It
And
really does seem to like ebb and flow though. Like it's just like, I saw it tapering off last night as I was going to bed, and like, it was starting to get from that 1.4 down to like 1.3, 1.25, and the undercutting was sort of starting to happen. Then I woke up and it's now at all-time highs. So there's just like these little things. The other weird thing is 15% listed, but
it is high
very,
listed.
very spread out.
It is.
Let's save the rest of the Valhalla conversation for the end, because we're gonna do the usual SBF thing and the market update too.
I love how it's the usual SBF thing at this point. Even
it is. Well, I mean, it's the gift that keeps on giving in terms of content, right?
Our daily SBF thing.
Yeah, I know how much you love talking about it, but he as we all know, he got arrested.
Yesterday was entertaining watching him. I mean, as a human. Like, as a human being, for a human story, I try to get in the mind of somebody, right? Like you were flying so high. You're literally living in an apartment that most human beings dream of eventually being able to like take a vacation one day, that type of shit, right? Like you go from there to being put into the back of a car in handcuffs, wondering how much of your freedom is going to be taken away. That is a mind fuck. And I am not getting into the deserve at this point. It's obvious that he deserves punishment here. I am of the belief that nobody should be sentenced to death, which life in prison is, and which Bernie Madoff was, and which many people hope SBF is.
He died, right?
Yep, he died in prison.
Yeah.
And I do not believe anybody should get the death penalty for stealing money. Should you bankrupt him, bar him from ever working in the finance industry again, ruin his career, maybe give him a few years in prison? Sure. Should you literally end his life? I mean, that just feels extreme to me as a human being in modern society. I'm not a big proponent of the death penalty anyway, so
I think we all just got that impression.
As a libertarian, I think the death penalty is wrong.
Yeah, a bit old school. GM, holy, the gang is back. Whiteber, Dekenza, Catfish, Wesley, not Wes Mosley, Wesley P. As holders, you should be featured streamers on their new platform. I think that we were gonna try and have that discussion with them at some point. I thought that would be pretty cool, but we'll see. Yeah. So where are we at in the market right now? Bitcoin breaking through 18,000. That seems like a nice little round number to get above. ETH sitting at it's kind of just poking through 1334, 35 right now, which is a local top, feeling pretty good. I think we're at a point that, as you said in the pre-show, it could be violently up or violently down. We're hitting those critical resistance points that actually kind of seemed to exist. Just we broke out of it just before the FTX debacle, and then plummeted down past it. But we are now again basically officially sideways from there.
It was hilarious because we broke out as macro news was. I mean, guys, the dollar has been killed. Right? Remember, Bitcoin and Ether price against the dollar. Right? The dollar has been destroyed. That's one reason you say, had the dollar not been destroyed, we'd probably be a lot lower on coins right now, because otherwise they should be much higher in response to what we're seeing in traditional markets. And of course, the thought I have this morning is, well, all right, yesterday we got a huge surprise. So I did not expect it to come in soft, but I did expect any negative reaction to be quickly reversed. The opposite happened, in where we came in soft and the positive reaction was so insane. I don't think I have seen S&P futures move like that. The way they've moved a few times this year has been historic in my mind. And yesterday, when we got an unexpected soft CPI, S&P ramped to 4180. And It's the top of the S&P range. It is literally the top of the pattern it was in, and it spent the rest of the day pulling back. In fact, it was one of those weird days where bulls got exactly what they wanted and one of the biggest pops you'll ever see in futures contracts, but the rest of the day was owned by the bears as we pulled more than 120 points off of those highs. Yet it didn't feel like capitulation. It didn't feel like, oh, we just hit the top and now it's over. It felt like bears capitulated on the idea that we are going to go lower on the same macro concepts they've been beating the drum on all year. Remember, markets move and change. And when you're proven right on your thesis, you start to get caught up in it. All right. Bears are just as just as out of their minds now as bulls were at the top. They think everything's going to zero. They're all horned up on confirmation bias because they have been right so much that ETH just hit 1340. Okay. But now we're getting to a point where the macro data that's been coming in has seriously suggested inflation has peaked and disinflation, or what we call deflation, is becoming quickly, in my opinion, more of a concern to this economy. All of that put together means coins should be higher. Now, that said, we had the soft CPI yesterday. We hit the top of the range. We pulled back, and now we have an equally important event today at 2 p.m. Eastern with the Federal Reserve Open Market Committee getting together and raising interest rates. Now, there is a more than 80% chance that they raise 50 basis points. That's not really what's in contention. The only way the move would affect markets would be if they did 75 or 25, which there's almost no chance of them doing, because if they were going to, they would have leaked it to the Wall Street Journal a few days ago to minimize any surprises that we would see today. So we know you're going to get 50 bips. Now, what does that mean? That is a slowing down of hikes. They're not stopping, they're not pivoting, but they're slowing it down. They've been doing 75. Okay. That is dovish, but it's known. Okay. When with markets, if you want, once something is known to happen, it gets priced in.
It's in the price. Yeah.
Markets are efficient.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about them leaking the news yesterday or prior to, so that it doesn't shock the market, right? Like that little bit of speculation, that little hint of they're probably going to do this, or they're 80% going to do that, or it's 75% going to go this way. That all just bakes into the price of bullish, bearish, up, down. And then when the news actually hits and it's relatively close to what was expected, the price doesn't react in any way, shape, or form. Well, not in any way, shape, or form, but overly dramatically, right?
Yeah. Now, what is going to move markets today is their press conference, their statement afterwards, because that's where we're going to understand how they're thinking. They're either going to say, yes, we're slowing down, but that doesn't mean we don't want to keep rates higher for longer. We're not paying attention to these they could come out max hawkish, all right, and how they speak. That is what the market is going to move on. What is their target for Fed funds rates, for the terminal rate, given all the good data we just seen? Are they going to say, no, we don't care, it doesn't matter, we're looking at this? Or are they going to say, yes, there is now open debate? All right. If they come out dovish today, you are going to see us break out of the range to the upside in a big way. You are actually seeing coins. I mean, ETH's above 1340 right now. It actually tends to be a good forward indicator of what's going to happen. I do believe we are slated for a dovish meeting today. Why? It wouldn't be an accident. They have been leading us up to this. Now, again, they are not going to say pivot. They're not going to say their concerns have abated. This isn't going to be a classically dovish. This is going to be when you read between the tea leaves, and that's what markets are good at doing. That's what people who watch high-frequency data and manage billions of dollars are good at doing. And I think whatever negativity comes in initially is going to be bought up very quickly. We may not even get it. I mean, that's how bullish I'm feeling here. The thing is, as a technician, I like to remove the news cycle from everything. And if I look at these charts right now, I can tell you the S&P, ETH, and Bitcoin are all at the top of their range. A huge move is about to happen. We are either going to break out big to the upside, or we are going to pull back all the way down to the bottom of those ranges. And honestly,
you think the drop can be that dramatic? Like we're talking 1100?
I would say back down to like 1240.
Okay.
Yeah,
So that little like 1 week range we've been, or I guess a bit longer than that.
If you look at there's something called ATR, which is average true range. And it tries to take out the noise of those brief blips if like for 1 second we've basically been in a 1200 to 1300 range. Okay. We've had like moments where we popped above 13, moments where we popped below 12. But in general, we're in a $1,200, $1,300 range. We're at 1350 or 1340 on ETH. All right. We're at the top of that range. So it's either going to knock us back down to the lower end or we're going to break out based on what the Fed does today. Bulls have a lot working for them. I guess the only knock would be that bulls have a lot working for them. It's pretty obvious to everybody at this point. Bears, you want bears to try to spin whatever happens today bearish. It would be much more beneficial for bulls looking out 2 weeks if we got a little flush today and loaded up some more shorts who thought, same old 2022, than if we just ramped up right away. But, we've already pulled 120 points back in the S&P. And yesterday I was saying that coins barely reacted when the S&P pulled back. And the whole time in my private chat room, we were discussing, man, look at the indexes. What a violent pullback. Yet when we look at individual stocks, they really hadn't reflected that much of a pullback in the index. So it was more people selling or hedging their index positions, which tend to be hedges for stock ownership, right? When you're a large fund that owns a bunch of stock, you can't buy and sell that stock quickly, but you can short futures against those stocks if you want to hedge. That type of stuff can sometimes cause that disjointing. And yesterday's pullback just didn't feel that bearish. So there's a lot working for bulls right now. Let's see what Jerome Powell does. I would say I really do think bulls want one last flush here. Maybe we just go off to the races, but we'll see. That's 2 p.m. Eastern, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an exciting time to see which way it goes, no matter what. But I think we're probably still at least a year away from some kind of major pivot back down to maybe even reducing interest rates. Like I'm hearing late 2023, early 2024 before they would even think about doing that.
Remember, pivots are bad. Okay, everyone thinks you want to pivot, but a pivot tends to mean that economic conditions have gotten so bad, the Fed is forced to reduce rates to try to save them. What is a soft landing? You hear soft landing a lot right now. It would be if they can stop inflation, like inflation goes away because they raise rates, but the job market doesn't collapse. So far, that's happened. That's why you hear people talking about soft landings. The thing is, there's a 9-month lag in economic data and rate and the effects of interest rate increases passing through to the labor market. So if this recession, I don't even know what you want to call it, if this bear market is like the others, you would expect the effects on labor to start showing up now, like in the next report, the report after. You would expect things to start to crack, okay? If they don't, why would the Fed consider lowering rate? If we can grow at 4% a year with 4% interest rates, why lower them? Because the higher you can keep interest rates, the more ammo that gives you when things inevitably go bad. The Fed wants as much leverage as possible to respond to a bad. They're not here to juice the economy. I know bears have been
a healthy economy at 4% is a great thing.
Right. And cynical people will have told you for years that the Federal Reserve was secretly trying to juice the stock market. That's such a smooth brain.
Well, did you see that chart of like the members of Congress that have beaten the
No.
Oh, it was aggressive, and it was like it's very telling.
Yeah, but the Federal Reserve itself, which is an independent entity.
No, I know that they're
not pushing 0% rates to purposely inflate asset prices.
I guess my point is I can see why people can make that leap for sure.
Right. Right. But what they really want is as much ammo in case things go bad. They're not here to juice it. So if next year the labor market doesn't fall apart, I don't expect the Fed to pivot. Just leave rates where they are. And the moment we start to ever see a recession boiling in the economy or their effect, they'll have a lot more room to lower without having to go back to zero. 0% rates are bad. Okay. It's not a healthy thing for economies. It causes asset bubbles that could be very damaging foundationally and systematically. So 0% rates are better than rampant deflation. Okay. And that's why they were at 0%, because we were scared of deflation overtaking the economy. When inflation happens, people can't spend money quick enough because prices are going up and you still need those goods to live. When deflation occurs, people stop spending money. People are like, why would I buy something when my money's going to have more buying power tomorrow? That is a much scarier prospect for an economy, for people to be like, yeah, I don't think I should go spend money today. That's the music stopping. That's everything grinding to a halt. And deflation is a problem you never hear about, because your average person is wed to the idea that printing money causes inflation. That is not true. That is just patently not true. And I could prove it. Look at the last 15 years. They have not been able to create inflation as hard as they've tried. The only reason we had this transient inflation was because of a fucking disease, a pandemic, which is ending. It's over. Those effects are going to start waning. So deflation is a much scarier problem. I believe when the Fed does pivot, and they will, okay, it's a rosy idea to think we're going to have a soft landing. The Fed can leave rates at 4%. Everything's just going to be great. But I think what the issue is going to be is not the labor market cracking. It's going to be actual disinflation and deflation, which is a result of underlying technological advances and just the human race moving much faster than it can support the labor force. That is the underlying thing central banks have been fighting against. And I think we're going to go right back to doing that. And it's going to spur another huge, unwarranted bubble that pops in 2029. But, until then, whee!
I pulled up that chart just for fun. It was posted by Unusual Whales on Twitter. And that will be a good segue into SBF. But yeah, Austin Scott, apparently not just a member of Congress, but an incredible trader.
Yeah.
So anyways, let's get into Sam Bankman-Fried, the man that all eyes have been on for the past month, I guess. Now is it? We're, I think, 30-ish days away since that all went down.
I feel like if his name was just Sam Blockman-Fried, none of this would have happened.
Sam Blockchain-Fried, yeah. Sam Bankrupt-Fried, Sam Bankrun-Fried. I don't know. Lots of funny nicknames coming out of that. So much so, it's only almost getting old. I tried a couple times too. I'm not gonna lie. I made a couple.
Well, but I heard the pain while you repeated them. Like, yep, yeah, ha 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 ha.
Well, I mean, like any big news cycle, it the citizen journalist of Twitter and whatnot it gets exhausting, and this is what I'm talking about when I talk about content burnout, right? Like, this has been a subject that has captivated particularly crypto and NFT Twitter. Just have them glued to their screens and talking about it ad nauseum for literally the last month. That might start to abate a little bit now that he has been arrested. And I think, obviously the sentencing hasn't been done and there's going to be hearings and this is going to drag on for a long time. And no, he is not going to get Epsteined. This is, I think now it's finally okay, most people are going to have this sense of peace in this, in the fact that he is probably going to get what's coming to him, which is going to be many, many years in prison. I think at this point, both sides of the fence, at least in America, now need to kind of throw the book at him with the wide reaching political donations he's made and, kind of making one side look the fool which would be, the left and the right using that as ammunition against them. Oh, look, you're in these, it's all criminal money and blah, 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 whatever. My point is now we are on that track. Sam Bankman-Fried was arrested on Monday afternoon by the Bahamian police. He was escorted out of his excessively wealthy or expensive penthouse and now in custody. He is supposed to be extradited to the United States, though he is fighting that. I guess he likes his chances in the Bahamas a lot better than in the United States. That would also make sense. But here we are. Let's set the stage for what happened. Unusual Whales was hosting SBF on a Twitter Spaces when we went off air on the show on Monday. It was interesting. I think he had basically, in some way, shape, or form, accidentally, intentionally, whatever, admitted it all being a big Ponzi, essentially saying that the ledgers and the balances had been transferred properly from Alameda and FTX, but not the actual money. The money never actually really existed in the way that they said they did. He also admitted to being basically playing League of Legends while on most of these spaces in interviews, and also, I guess, investor pitches with, when they were doing the seed round funding. All very fascinating. He did rush off of the space at one point when he was getting pressed on a couple of topics. And then shortly thereafter, he had been arrested. So I don't want to say an interesting turn of events. I think most people were hoping this happened. I always believed, that he was going to get some kind of jail time, and it looks like he will. Yeah, I mean, where were you when Sam Bankman-Fried got arrested?
I was on Twitter watching it live.
Right, exactly.
Some news organization had a drone over the proceedings, so we were able to watch it live. I just sent you a tweet in the DMs. I think you should pull up on your screen.
I also just posted that New York Post, or I pulled up that New York Post article that DeKenza was just referencing there that you sent me earlier.
They're the best in the. They're the best.
I mean, pretty good.
Yep.
Okay, I'm looking for DMs here. Okay, what am I pulling up?
If you're wondering why, scroll up in that thread. If you're wondering why this may have happened to Sam Bankman-Fried.
Oh yeah, she was in New York.
He was in New York.
I forgot about that. Yeah.
Snapped a picture at this cafe. Then, of course, the shining light in our industry, Kobe, did a little GPSing and scroll down to that map and click on it.
Right. A mere 21-minute walk from. Yeah.
Yes. And I assume, as bad as she is off financially, she probably took an Uber. But there it is.
Well, can't you walk that faster in New York?
Yeah. And I'll say this. There's another reason you haven't heard from young Sam Trabucco in the last whatever. And if you want to know why Sam Bankman-Fried is going to be serving jail time, it's because the two of them flipped on him, and it seems pretty obvious at this point.
Yeah, but you know what? I mean, how could you actually really blame her? He hasn't done her any favors on these spaces as well.
I'm not blaming her. I'm just an observer.
No. I shouldn't imply that you were, but he had used his publicity tour over the past few weeks to basically throw anybody and everybody under the bus, saying he had no idea it was, basically everybody else that was doing all these things, and boy, was he played the fool. I really can't see that being the case, especially with his perceived or his the personality that he puts out in there. He makes it very clear he's the smartest guy in the room and he knows everything and blah blah blah. And now he's just the poor little CEO that got played. Probably not. Charges are hitting hard. He's got a total of 111 years or somewhere in and about there of potential jail time, whether that's served concurrently or simultaneously or whatever. I guess that's up to the courts. I mean, I personally think that he's going to get a minimum of 25 years. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think? Do you have a take on that, or just at this point, it is what it is?
Honestly, don't know. I honestly don't
What
know.
did Madoff get hit with? I mean, I know that it ended up being a life sentence, but because he was so much older, SBF is not even 30
Oh
yet.
no, they would
So
have kept him there till he died, even if he was a young guy.
yeah,
It was life. It was hundreds of years, like 300
okay.
years or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, White Burr saying, "Don't get it twisted. She's not innocent, but she was scapegoated hard." I wholeheartedly agree with that. I don't
That's how
think
you make
anybody
deals
in this
there.
situation was innocent, but yeah, I think that
That's not
she was
innocent.
highly incentivized by Sam Bankman-Fried's actions to just be like, you know what, I'm going to come in there and we're going to set the record straight.
I'll work out a deal. I'll take 1 year in a minimum security prison and $20 million. Thank you. Here's all the information.
And probably not allowed to trade again. Or does that work? I guess you can't do that in
I'm cool with it.
decentralized markets.
I was even thinking to myself, I'm like, 20 million, I could disappear. I'm gone. I'll never look at a computer screen again. I don't get
that is incredible risk reward though. Like the reward is potentially actually pulling it off and making billions of dollars, or the risk is this. I mean, you are just making up numbers here, but a year in prison. And like, I remember that Canadian kid that stole all that Bitcoin, and like he was a minor, so he literally got like a year or two in prison and like a slap on the wrist. And like the risk reward at that age is actually not that I'm saying people should do it, but I always wonder about some of these penalties and some of them being pretty light-handed, I guess. So
well, if you want to know why I'm citing $20 million, it's because a whistleblower was an anonymous whistleblower who's obviously not going to be named by the government, was paid $20 million to unveil a massive financial fraudulent scheme. They announced that yesterday. So
which one?
they did not. They're not disclosing.
Okay. Well, the United States actually
paid 20 million.
Well, the United States relatively recently put in place that whistleblower, I guess, payout rule where they actually get a percentage of the the fine or whatever. Kind of a cool incentive for whistleblowers to keep people honest, because with the old way, it was just like, how do you risk your career, your name, your reputation, and basically everything you have, and potentially safety for whistleblowing on somebody, and then you don't even really have any economic incentive to do so. So, I think that's actually a pretty interesting change that they made back then. But back on topic with FTX and Sam Bankman-Fried and whatnot, I guess a lot of this is all in hindsight and whatnot. But I listened to the All In podcast, which is David Sachs and Chamath, and however you feel about them. But it is interesting. What's that?
Are you all in on life, R2?
No. Yeah, of course I am.
No, you're still deciding.
I was just like, it was very dismissive. I'm sorry. I just wasn't listening to what you were saying, I guess. But one of the things that they had mentioned was like, one of the biggest red flags was that the founders of this company, of a growth stage company, were hanging out in a $120 million penthouse. And that should have been all of the red flags you needed, because you really just shouldn't have access to that much capital in a growth stage company. But
I didn't know it was growth stage. I thought they were printing like millions a day from their.
I think essentially in like how they were raising funds from investors, like the stage that it would have been in would have still been considered growth stage, right? Like it wasn't. It certainly wasn't a mature asset by any means.
Yeah.
Yes, Wesley. Canada has blocked leverage trading on centralized exchanges for crypto. Canada getting real heavy-handed with most things cryptocurrency. I think we talked about it a couple months ago when they released that you would not be able to buy more than $30,000 a year annually of any other coins other than Bitcoin, ETH, Litecoin, and there was one other one, but it was
I wonder why
say arbitrarily chosen. Like Bitcoin and ETH kind of makes sense if you're putting that restriction on anything, but like then it's like Litecoin. Like who got in there and was like, yeah, you got to throw Litecoin in there.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I think Wesley P is bringing up the Canada leverage thing. As we know, if you go open up an anonymous wallet under a VPN and use a non-KYC site like KuCoin, you can still leverage trades.
Yeah, but what does the government do to if you're caught doing that, right?
I don't know. I don't know what I don't know. Do they do things, the Canadian government? I don't even know.
Yeah, I mean, there was the whole thing with the trucker rally where, you know, anybody that was receiving or sending Bitcoin to any of those wallets had their funds frozen, like their actual bank accounts.
So what?
So if you had a Coinbase account
Yeah.
and you sent Bitcoin to those truckers, they would track that back to your KYC and then freeze your bank account.
So I guess they would have to see if your wallet interacted with a wallet that used a leverage trading site. So you would not be able to transact coins with wallets that have used leverage trading sites. Because again, if you have a VPN, an anonymous wallet, you just make money, fill that wallet, and then you send it back to your legitimate wallet.
Yeah, I mean, I guess that is the game you play, but Canada is just drawing a line in the sand saying you cannot do this. But if you want to go to the bank, take out a loan and go into the casino and blow all that money, like feel free to. We'll happily take the taxes on those losses. So again, you know, it is what it is. I don't use leverage. I haven't. And so does this affect me directly? It doesn't. But again, I just like they're it's getting very strict on like the do's and don'ts of your money, right?
I think the best thing we could do for Canada at this point is incorporate them as the 52nd state.
Perfect.
Yeah.
No, again, like it's like I said, it doesn't affect me, and I haven't been using leverage, but it's a response to FTX. And, you know, the problem is not Bitcoin or Ethereum. The problem was that Sam Bankman-Fried did some shitty things, and the word leverage and margin trading is now bad. I just think, as was pointed out by some people on Twitter, is, you know, now to trade in volume or trade in size, you know, you can't use leverage anymore. So now you actually have to keep more of your crypto on centralized exchanges, which puts you at even more risk. So I wonder if that was intentional or not. But again, I don't really have an idea of what's going on behind the scenes there when they're deciding to make these. The one thing I will say is that, man, Canada moves quickly on some of these rules. It's not like it gets tied up in Congress for months while they debate on what the proper course of action is. Like, this just seemed to just happen.
I just sent you a tweet. Bring it up. I would like to poll the audience on this tweet and tell me how many people heard about this story.
Okay, breaking NBC News posted yesterday. Yeah, noon yesterday. How do you say that?
Donks.
Bank has pleaded guilty and will forfeit $2 billion after DOJ says it failed to have the anti-money laundering systems and transaction monitoring facilities to stop tainted foreign money, including Russian money, to enter the U.S. system.
Isn't traditional finance just a garden of fucking snakes? It's a scam. The whole thing, all the way down. Ban it. Ban traditional finance. Fucking scam. $2 billion. $2 billion. Okay. Did you hear? Did anybody hear about this? Is it front page news? Is the CEO being trotted out in pun-laden headlines on newspapers?
Which is, yeah, what we're talking about, like potentially 25 to 50% of what FTX was. That's not a small number.
And I mean, this is a regular fucking occurrence for traditional finance to have the fucking nerve to say anything about crypto. You fucking assholes are doing it every day. I'm not even against it. Go for it. I'm just saying, leave crypto alone.
They say crypto is a Ponzi. Yeah, a Ponzi. I can get in early. Banks are a Ponzi. My great grandparents couldn't get in too early. I mean,
and I'm just saying, and this is to all my FinTwit buddies, because I love you guys, but sitting there and saying that crypto is a fucking scam, everything's a fucking scam. Come on. Please start trying.
We're watching the evolution of free market.
The most heartening, and I'm from traditional finance, and the most heartening thing I see is when my old buddies try to use these moments to really step on the neck of crypto. Like one of the bigger voices in Twitter, in finance Twitter, the other week was like, well, I think it's about time for CNBC and Bloomberg to stop quoting crypto coins at this point. Putting Bitcoin and ETH up on the screen is doing a disservice to, this type of shit. I'm like, bro, it's not going to zero. Like, you can't force it to zero. Look at you. You're pathetic. You're trying to make it go to zero. If crypto was really so insignificant that you thought it was just going to go away and go to zero, you wouldn't give a shit. It bothers you because you know deep down it's real. And you're not going to will it to zero through procedural argument. Oh, take it off TV. You can't show that to the average person. Fuck off.
Yeah, I mean, there's lots to unpack there. That is also a narrative that's going on in Canada. I don't want to go there. Bill C-11, check that one out. That one's fun. Everything's a scam except nature, not a scam. I hate to break it to you, Wiper, but we do live in a simulation, so nature isn't even real.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, think about what your brain is processing and
did we just turn into a conspiracy theory podcast? Like, are we like
turn into?
Oh, it always has been.
Exactly.
Are we just turned into the astronaut meme?
Yeah.
Perfect. All right, let's talk some NFTs. Hey, we talked about Sappy Seals a while ago. Sappy Seals, maybe let's give it a refresh. Broke a 1 ETH floor. Oh yeah, look at that volume, 1.1 ETH. The curse is over. NFTs are up.
I'm like, I said R2, we should name the show NFTs are back. You're like, really? Are you sure? R2, you know how you know the NFT market bottom? R2's apathetic. He's like, really? There's no. I'm like, yeah. Look, Sappy's over 1 ETH. Come on. But again, I still will reiterate this. If we went back to all-time highs in ETH, we'd all still be down 75%. So.
What was this at when we were talking about it the other week? Was this 0.6.7? Yeah. So look at that. Nice little 2x on your dollar bills, y'all.
And Pudgy's got over 5 briefly.
Yeah. There's some of these bigger projects are moving. You mentioned Junie. Azuki had a big sale, holding strong at 13-ish ETH.
Well, that's a pump. It was at 11 2 days ago, right? So Azuki, there's a real pump going on in collections that matter,
Yeah, I mean, I sometimes just scroll through WGMI just to see the collection names and stuff like that. You do get a decent delta on some of them, particularly from the 30-day, and there's a lot of green on the 30 days. Most notable collections have seen a decent sized increase, from a month ago. And that is very encouraging. Pudgy Penguins, as we mentioned, I didn't even realize this. 2.3 ETH 30 days ago, now sitting at 4.5. Pretty incredible. I saw that. What was the other one that I saw? Doesn't matter. Anyways. And then, of course, Valhalla, kind of leading the charge in terms of.
Don't get them confused.
Yeah, the Freudian slip. Yeah, I know. People are going to see. I told you they looked the same.
Just like our project, Star Wars. I mean, no.
Oh God, if I had $1 for every time I make that,
that's your favorite one to do.
Well, it's just. I like Star Wars. I consume a lot of Star Wars content.
It's just a remarkably close coincidence for no apparent reason.
The Wars doesn't have a Z on the end of it.
Because they're not crossed with Skittles. I've already reiterated this to our audience.
What do we got here? Valhalla closing in on 10,000 ETH volume 1.
Big old sweepy sweep as we're talking. Let me count here. 1, 2, 3, 4.
That just happened.
5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 14 Valhalla floor sweep right as we were speaking.
You're looking at Blur, right? I gotta.
Yeah, I'm looking at Blur. It was a Blur sweep. Yeah.
Yeah, doing all right. I mean, today is definitely a day for Valhalla in the sense that trait swapping is going to be going live too. I mean, I think if you've watched or listened to this show for long enough, you would get the sense that we're a little bit of purists in the sense that like there's something very fun and like weirdly, I don't want to say primal. That's maybe a little bit too old of a word, but you know, the Pokemon pack, right? Like you open the pack of cards, you get what you get. There's some fun in that, in the reveal of it, and being able to trade traits has in the past kind of felt a little bit dirty. I think that they seem to have the gamification and the nuance figured out. So I'm holding my breath to pass judgment on this. I'm under the impression that they're doing it in a clever way such that it doesn't mess up the rarities too much. And most of the rerollable traits are actually going to be somewhat new. Is that correct?
Something like that, yeah.
Something like that. Perfect.
No, and the idea is that people who are sorry.
Keep going.
The idea is that people who are worried that their traits, you could start seeing a big supply in it. That may not happen. In fact, if someone with a rare trait rolls a new rarer trait, maybe they switch to that one, and now there's less of your trait on the floor. So that was the smart thing they did, where people with rares were immediately like, shit, the mint isn't even over. I mean, my rarity is not set. What's going on? They've done it in a clever way.
Yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of fun. A lot of people are trying to speculate and wrap their heads around what's going to happen with the Valhalla tokens, which are going to be used to facilitate these transactions too. So I don't know if that is a play. I think you said they're 0.09 right now. I got to pull that collection up. Sorry. Eek. Free market, you there?
Yes.
Is that the reserve, right? Now, yeah, there we go.
The token right now is 0.078. I think there's obviously more utility in store than just the initial armory phase, because there's a time limit, right? You can only roll for so long, if I'm not mistaken.
I think there is a rolling period, yeah.
Right. So once we get through this rolling period, rarities will finally be set, and there will be a bunch of tokens people didn't use, like people with rares who don't feel like rolling, or people who just don't care.
I'm not so sure about that, actually. Maybe I could be wrong, so don't take that as gospel. I actually didn't look up if there would be a hard time limit on it.
Because I guess the thought would be, why, right now it's $100 and they're airdropping you 2 every 2 days. That's not bad. $100 a day in airdrops so far, if you're just inclined to sell the token.
Yeah. So, we'll keep an eye on that and figure it out. Obviously, there will be some stuff to talk about on Friday in regards to like how this all goes down. Catfish definitely in tune with what's going on in Valhalla. Says he thinks the 24th is a deadline. So, yeah, I mean, I guess you got to speculate. Will there be any kind of utility in these tokens after the fact too? Is there some incentive to hang on to them, or do they want you to use them and get rid of them? Right. So, are you going to be re-rolling anything on yours? I know you pulled a couple of decently rare ones. Is that something that you think you want to do, or is that a let it ride kind of situation?
No, I think I would just sell the coins.
Just sell the coins for as a yield?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't. Again, like I guess I'm gonna wait and see how people are doing this and enjoying it. I don't think I'm gonna be the first person in line to be doing it, but I mean, I guess it's kind of clear that they have put a lot of thought into what's going on here, and that doesn't mean that their system is going to be perfect or that the market's going to respond to it in a perfectly ideal manner. But uh, all of the lead up to this does feel like there was, a sufficient amount of FUD. I mean, even including from us too, right? Like there was some doubt, there was some uncertainty. We were left kind of hanging and not sure what happened. The floor opened at 1.3. There were a lot of allow lists being sold for about 1.5 ETH just to claim the allow list, and then of course 1 ETH to mint the two. So you're looking at a cost basis for a bunch of people at about 1.25. Those people would now be in profit. But that dump, I mean, I think it flushed a lot of people out, right? Like that dump from 1.3 down below mint price, I think got things a little bit shaky, or took things from being a little bit shaky to getting it on really solid footing. And now a lot of the people that have entered at a pretty reasonable cost basis. And I really do think that there's a lot of people that support this project and want to see it long term do well, even if it's for their own pocketbooks. Like, that's fine. This is the kind of market we exist in. But I think, I think people are seeing their roadmap, what they're trying to build, and thinking that, okay, like if this is something that can really pick up in 6 months, a year, 2 years, there could be some real long-term value in keeping this around, especially because they are doing a good job of maintaining attention in a relatively quiet market right now.
Yeah, I think that's the key to me here is as much as we criticized their launch, what it seems to have done is eliminated all the paper hands, because people that were going to paper panicked under 1 ETH, and any trader that bought large chunks of them and was planning to bomb the floor when it got to the price they wanted already did it. That's why I think even though you see mini pullbacks in the price as it goes up, it's very steady. You don't see people drop 20 on the floor, undercutting, the price by 0.2 all at once or something. And that will eventually show up, because now there are richer people who are flipping and saying they're going to buy a bunch at 1.5, and then those 20 NFT bombs are going to come at 2.5 and 3 ETH or whatever if it gets up there. But for now, I think you're in that little window where the people who were going to paper at this price after mint already papered under 1 ETH, and they have timed announcements, gamification, and marketing in a sense perfectly. I think they can drag this out for a few weeks. They could probably drag it out until Meme Land and Captain's mint on January 4th.
Ooh, is Meme Land still a thing?
Damn, I'll tell you, it really,
sorry.
It has got. I have gotten pretty bullish again just in the last few days.
Oh, you have? I thought you were just
potatoes. As the potatoes,
didn't they announce a 1.069 mint price?
Go look at the price of potatoes right now. Bring it up on the screen. They're over 2 ETH. They were at 2.1 the last time I checked.
Okay. Yep. Up from
you need 3 of them to guarantee a captain's mint. So if right now you have decided I want to get in on this captain's mint, you have to spend how much are they now?
Yeah, it would be 6.6, let's just say.
Yeah. So 6.6 plus the 1.069 mint price to get 1 captain right now. That is interesting to me, because the market will set the price, okay? Let's say
what happened to this guy? He never grew up.
Oh, maybe he's not staked. Let's say potatoes are worth half an ETH. Or let's be very generous to potatoes and conservative to captains. and say potatoes are worth 1 ETH. Okay, let's say potatoes at their base are worth 1 ETH.
Okay.
That means that right now, captains have an opening line of 3 ETH because these have 3 ETH more of value in them. If they're only worth half an ETH, that means captains have an opening line of 5 ETH right now. And just like Clonex, I believe that the market is already deciding the floor price before it happens. If you are lucky enough to have a captain's mint, I think they're going to open between 3 and 5 ETH.
This is a collection of interesting dynamics. I hate that they're all the same background color. That's so boring to me. But some of it looks great.
The meme land different. So they have already announced their token, which is symbol meme. And
great name.
Great name. And they are run by 9gag. They are minting on January 4th for 1.069 ETH. And unlike any of these other projects, you are only allowed to mint 1. Therefore, I really do think these are going to open around 3 to 5 ETH when they do.
I actually really wonder what the Valhalla dynamic would have been if you could only have minted 1.
Serious, yo, I think they'd probably already be at 3 ETH.
It's so hard to sell 1, right? Like you got to either buy or exit completely.
Yeah.
Not to say that was a huge like misstep or anything. It seems to be working out for them well right now. But I mean, we were talking about in the pre-show too, just maybe the second order effects of what the application meta is meant for that project, right? And maybe that did intentionally or unintentionally kind of start a really strong FUD cycle. I think that there were definitely some people that kind of took to brigading on Twitter, and maybe it was the scorned lover, why won't you let me in kind of dynamic going on there. I'm not sure.
Yes, I agree.
Okay, we had all right, what else are you seeing?
I am seeing the winds of change.
The winds of change. Do you think this is all leading up for an NFT maybe mini or actual bull run, or is there enough life left in this market right now?
I think macro
bad enough.
Macro tailwinds matter. I think if people feel wealthier because number go up, then NFTs have a good chance here. I think it's airdrop season too. Let's not forget. Airdrops are going to be coming very soon. People know that.
Yeah, the Blur one is looming.
Pump it, Loom Dart.
Pump it. What do you got going on today?
I am probably going to make another bagel with cream cheese.
Another? I thought you ordered your bagels.
Well, I have bagels already. I have to put the cream cheese on them.
I have bagels
I don't
too.
order the cream cheese.
I might join you. I might make an everything bagel. Bagel?
Yeah.
Bagel? How do you say it? How do Canadians
like
say it?
San Francisco Bay? Like you say bag, like a bag you would get at the store to put items in.
Bagel.
Yeah.
Although I just put butter.
You guys are doing it, right? It's not just me.
I just put butter. I like just butter. I do like cream cheese. I'm laying off it right now.
Butter. Yeah, my preference tends to be red salmon smoked from Alaska with some lime and hot sauce. But right now I'm having
hell yeah,
nothing else on it. Salmon, the lime, and the hot sauce.
I love I can't remember what it's called, Eggs Benedict, but with the smoked salmon on it. Is that a thing in the States? I never know. Sometimes I don't know what you guys eat and what you don't. I don't know what I'm gonna say that will get me made fun of and booed off the stage.
I think I've asked you this before, but I forgot. Do you guys call Canadian bacon Canadian bacon?
No.
No. What's it called?
P-mail.
What is it?
P-mail bacon.
P-mail. Okay.
P-meal. P-mail. P-mail. P-E-A-M-E-A-L.
That's why we call it Canadian bacon. We don't want to say that. So we're just like, they came up with it. It's Canadian. It's Canadian bacon.
Well, you guys were boycotting that for a little while too.
Why? Because
they tried to rebrand it to Freedom Fries and something else bacon. They tried to.
Why were we?
You guys were brigading against the Canadian and the French because we didn't want to join you in Iraq.
Oh, that's what
remember that? That was a long time ago.
It was.
I think we're over
Let's rile up the vehicle.
Yeah, do we want to go there? No, it was. I remember that though. Freedom Fries. There was a name for the bacon too. I can't remember. Sorry, just went there. My bad.
We did.
I'm just hungry.
It doesn't affect me personally, but if anybody in the audience was triggered, we apologize.
I don't know what kind of a subject that is, and in the grand scheme of things. So yeah, if that is a bad topic, I'm sorry. I shouldn't have brought it up.
I want to go to
I could hear Free Market kind of squirming. You want to go to Amsterdam?
I want to go to Amsterdam.
Why?
I like Amsterdam in the winter, unlike a lot of people. I don't know. It's so beautiful.
Does it snow there?
The weed's not even there anymore, but I'm still willing to go.
I've never been to Europe, actually. I'm so uncultured.
I always had the routine of flying into Amsterdam, loading up on a bunch of weed, and then taking the train to my actual destination because I wasn't just going to fly into some country where I had no weed.
Okay.
Like, what is this? I got to go on a 2-week vacation with no, that's not a vacation. That's rehab. I'll just fly into Amsterdam.
You're well traveled. Like, what's your favorite place you've been?
My favorite place I've been. I have a lot of moods, so it changes based on my mood. I was in an Amsterdam mood today. I love Mallorca. It is an island off of Spain that is close to Ibiza, but it doesn't have the 20-year-old partying vibe. And yes,
I'm
old.
Ibiza.
Right, it's not Ibiza. It is Mallorca. The jamón de Iberico is just as good there. The Mediterranean water is just as blue, but you don't have the club atmosphere there. So I know some people like I don't dislike clubbing, but it's just not where I'm going to vacation at this point in my life.
I think I'm going to fire up that stage of my life again. I'm going clubbing on a regular basis.
Let's go, baby.
I actually live within a very close walking distance of quite a club scene in my city.
Yeah, you've done good work there before?
Oh, it's been years since I've gone there on any kind of regular basis. There's a couple good restaurants there too, which is fun. But yeah,
have you ever had to get across the dance floor and like you didn't want to just walk across and look like an asshole, so you kind of dance across it to get to the other side?
Yeah, 100% for sure. And you got to try not to spill the 3 drinks you're holding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. You don't want to kill the vibe. It looks weird when you walk across the dance floor.
Right. Yeah, you gotta blend in. You do the point at a couple people.
A lot of finger guns. Going
Finger guns. Yeah. Oh man, I'm trying to think of like some places I've been. Loved Arizona. Arizona was fantastic.
My God. That's Hawaii literally where people in the United States go to die. This is the most boring. Yeah.
Okay. Well, Phoenix is a nice city, man. I actually realized until we were there and I looked it up how big it was too. Like that's maybe the 5th biggest city in North America.
Did you drive around the desert, check out the rocks and stuff?
Did, yeah. Oh man, yeah, Sedona is spectacular.
See the Grand Canyon?
I saw the Grand Canyon. I did not like that. Made me very uncomfortable. Well, I figured it's not a height; it's a hole in the ground, right? Oh boy, was I wrong. That thing is fucking big.
Yeah.
It's spectacular. Don't get me wrong, but
there's hallucinogenic cactuses at the bottom. It's worth the trip down.
I think there's like a 3 or 4 day hike through the bottom or something. I think that would be pretty cool, albeit probably hot and full of scorpions and stuff. That's terrifying.
Yeah, this is my issue. I don't go anywhere where there are snakes. This is why I like the cold weather. That's why I like the snow. I could deal with a bear. Grizzly bears, I'm fine with. Snakes, no.
Canada's great for that, man. We don't have a lot of like flora and fauna that are trying to
kill you,
destroy your life.
Whereas the opposite of that is Australia, where you can't walk down the street without running into something venomous that wants to kill you.
It's a give and take. I mean, it's absolutely spectacular there, but your life is in your own hands at all.
Leaving your house every day.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, if you venture off, you do not want to hit a moose with a car. That's for sure.
They are the silent killer. The moose.
What?
The moose. Yeah. Dude, silent killer.
Huge.
The moose. Although I think that's hippopotamus.
And you don't want to piss one of them off. Oh yeah, hippos are nasty.
Right.
We don't have any of those in Canada though.
Everyone's worried about lions and snakes. When it's hippos and moose, you got to worry.
Yeah.
You know what? Whatever. Worry about all four. I think all four should be taken under consideration when it comes to the safety of your life.
Why is cancel Netflix popping up on Twitter now? Why is this trending?
Because they either pissed off the woke people or the conservative. Those are the only two reasons to cancel anything now. You pissed off the woke or the conservatives.
Warrior Nun?
Woke culture, man. Woke culture is not very woke if you think about it. It's ironic. They're very closed and unwoke. Come on, what am I getting? Did I just rail against Ibiza? And I am on the other side now. There's no denying it. I can't deny it.
Man shakes fifth at cloud.
Right. I look youthful, so it balances out.
Do you?
I'm a codgy old conservative, but I look youthful.
Oh man, people are posting your cancellation confirmation of Netflix.
They might.
I just started watching Better Call Saul. I just started watching Better Call Saul. I can't cancel Netflix now. I'm sorry. What's going on, Fellboy and Sanchez? GM guys, what do you guys got going on today? Also, I'm kind of in the market for a new show to watch. I started watching Better Call Saul. I don't know if I'm going to commit to it. Like, what am I watching?
It's a good show. Just the first 6 episodes are slow.
I believe it. I actually watched the first episode and thought to myself, I feel like I'm really going to like this, but I just don't know if I want to commit to that right now. I made the mistake of rewatching Breaking Bad before, thinking that would be a good segue into it. And now I just realized that maybe I'm just going to be tired of that whole universe right now. So I maybe did it to myself. Better Call Saul is best. Yeah. I mean, I think I'm almost all the way through Andor. The Star Wars show. Really enjoying that. But Jimmy was your favorite Breaking Bad character, so it was natural. Yeah, I did have some concern that he kind of had the Ari Golden entourage thing where he's a great character in that show, but do I want to watch a show dedicated to him? I think the answer is yes. I don't know. Is Ari Gold not a top 5 TV show character?
Yeah.
You know what I'm talking about, right? You watched Entourage.
I did. It's a good show.
You don't agree?
I agree. I have a problem with Jeremy Piven. I think he's an asshole, but So.
Well, have you had a personal experience with him?
Never meet your heroes, kids.
Is that okay? I was like, is this where we're going right now? No, do tell. Air out the dirty laundry.
No, I have nothing. And he's an asshole to people he believes are beneath him. He's just one of those type of people.
Okay.
So it's
Wednesday
sour.
Adams. Wednesday, yeah, I heard good things about that.
Oh yeah. Go. It's Tim Burton.
I don't like. Tim Burton is someone that's never really moved the needle for me. Is that terrible?
No, and the only thing I'll say is he went a little soft. Like she wasn't quite as murderous as she used to be, but it's still very good. I'll admit.
No, I don't think it's too normie of you to suggest that. I mean, it's popular for a reason. I think I've heard good things about it. I never watched that Lord of the Rings show on Amazon. I heard that was a little weak.
Yeah, I just don't like that genre really. I like I thought the Game of Thrones show was one of the best I've seen in a long time. I enjoyed it.
There it is. I have to finish watching that. I completely forgot about that.
Dragon. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I gotta watch that.
Yeah, that would be.
I completely forgot.
I think Julie Ortega plays Wednesday Adam.
So I can cancel Netflix. That's not even on Netflix.
Boom.
I'm joining the movement.
Does anybody see
Argentina in the finals of the World Cup? That's exciting. Messi having a shot at his first and potentially only World Cup championship. Watch brand new cherry.
Grass hockey's almost over.
Does that mean things go up after?
Yep.
Is that what we're waiting? That's what we're actually.
There is a lot. Yeah, well, it's a liquidity thing. That liquidity leaves the market during World Cups and then comes back after. But it's also the holidays. The market is likely just going to float up. That's all.
France versus Morocco kicking off in a couple hours. Morocco, hell of a run. Don't know if they can beat France, but why not? Keep that ball rolling.
I get it.
Oh, that wasn't even intentional. I like it. Look at me. Just coming up with it. I'm just.
It wasn't intentional, so if I hadn't pointed it out.
I appreciate that.
I'm just. See, that was a tag on
for you.
Supposed to laugh at that part. That's it.
Is World Cup on the same schedule as Bitcoin halving cycle? Ooh, are you onto something here? Maybe it hasn't been the halving.
I don't know anything about this halving cycle. I know everyone throws up charts showing Bitcoin went up afterwards. I think, as R2 likes to say about NFT seasonality, there hasn't been enough seasons to say that there's seasonality yet. So.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, what did you have? We had
twice.
Two.
The halving worked twice. Okay, that sounds like a rule.
No, this is our sixth cycle.
Sixth halving?
Yeah.
Huh. Mining Bitcoin early was a real moneymaker, huh?
Yes, as it turns out. Boy, those guys who got 3, no.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I was right. All right.
Fine.
Thank God. I'm like, all right, mining Bitcoin early was not a good investment. Ha ha. Oh,
yeah, suckers.
Ha. Yeah. So does that mean Bitcoin won't be mined in our lifetime? How long is it?
Correct. Oh yeah. It's like
20, time, right?
It's like 2,200 or something.
Oh, okay. All right,
gotcha. So next one is 2024, April 3rd. God, that's like not that far away.
Around the corner. See, you gotta hope we get our
story wiper. I know I'm an idiot.
In Q1, because if macro collapses in Q2 or Q3, I don't know what the halving is going to have to do with it.
Well, this is definitely a different market, one that crypto hasn't really existed in yet, I guess.
Like, so my Mongo brain, the basic philosophy here is that the selling pressure by miners gets cut in half, right? Because they're only mining half as much coin a day. Is that the
right? But the energy, the cost of energy to mine Bitcoin does not change. Well, I mean, it's variable, but yeah.
Right. Well, yeah. But so the basic point is that they won't have as much Bitcoin to dump on the market on a daily basis. Is the
Correct.
idea. Okay.
Yeah. It's the supply shock, right?
Yeah.
The last Bitcoin will be mined in 2140. So maybe in our lifetimes. I think I can get there. What's that? 116 years from now. That would put me at 150-ish. I got this.
Well, you should listen to
I'm actually not saying that sarcastically either. I think that we're,
well, if my
close.
bull market prediction is right and it's led by biotechnology, you very well could be correct. I think everyone should listen to the latest Star Talk podcast hosted by Neil deGrasse Tyson with none other than
I used to listen to that. He got a little insufferable, but okay, I keep going.
He's always been insufferable to me,
okay,
but
fair.
I think he's good for information. But Ray Kurzweil is his guest, and if you guys don't know Ray Kurzweil, he coined the term singularity to refer to a point in which humans and machines are no longer distinguishable from one another, and his big mission in life is the extension of age and the elimination of aging.
Yeah.
And it's just a very interesting podcast. You should read his books, listen to podcasts he's on if you want to get an idea of where the forefront of immortality or the extension of human life is. Check out Ray Kurzweil.
Yeah, I've listened to a bunch of things, not with him, but a bunch of different things on this subject matter, and it is fascinating how, I mean, we're starting to get close. There is now a big separation of chronological age versus biological age, and that it seems to be with the right nutrition and the right, fitness schedule and actions, that you can actually start reducing your biological age, as opposed to it just constantly ticking. But even just like the technology behind the diagnostics and the measurements of it is all moving relatively quickly. And I think that's going to be a huge sector. Probably over the next 15 years. I feel like we've seen all of this massive wealth creation in crypto and tech and all of this stuff. And all of these people are left with hundreds of millions or billions or tens of billions of dollars. And, what is the only thing left that they want to try and buy? And it's time, right? I think that's going to be the initial push. Is that, I don't think that's a ridiculous take.
I know most of you can't, you haven't known Art too long enough to read the signals between his language, but what he's basically saying there is Valhalla to 10 ETH by Sunday. This is, he has a very special method. He left letters and clues sprinkled throughout, but he said it, Valhalla 10
I'm like
Jerome
Powell am I speaking dovishly or hawkishly?
Exactly. I'm an R2 tea leaf watcher, not a Fed tea leaf watcher, yeah.
Valhalla is 10 ETH. I don't know. I don't know if it has 10 ETH in it, but like I also said that about Azuki, so I'm hoping that I have one. Well, Azuki started. Well, okay, let's talk about the Azuki dynamic here, because people do compare it to Valhalla, not just in the art, but I've seen people saying it's primed for that Azuki run. Azuki minted for 2 ETH.
1.
It was expensive.
It minted for 1. It pumped to 2, and then fell back.
Clonex was 3, 2. Yeah. Okay.
Then when it fell back down to 1.3, and from there it was basically up only for the next, I guess, 4 weeks. I'm trying to remember how long that run was.
Yeah, it was ridiculous, and especially because we were on the show every single day and had to listen to the Azuki fanboys tell us how fucking stupid we were.
That first run, it got up to 12, I think. It got up to about 12 ETH. It pulled back to 6, I think. And then from there, it continued more up only, got up to 15. And then it had its blow-off top pump during NFT LA when they released Beans. And very briefly, the Azuki floor got to 35 ETH.
Wow, that's crazy.
Isn't that nuts? Yeah.
No, not 0.5 ETH.
Nope, 1 ETH. It was
It
a
was
1
1
ETH.
ETH, yeah. I don't know what Moonly is. I just looked that up.
First day, it went crazy, went up to like 2.2, and everyone was like, awesome cook. Fell to like 1.3, 1.6, never got close to mint. And then from there, what really started it, and it's something that you're seeing in Valhalla, whether you believe it's wash trading or not, is rares. Rares started selling way above floor. They were very in demand and desirable, and then people started wearing them in their PFPs. I mean, I don't think Valhalla is going to get to 10 ETH unless you start seeing people on Twitter switch their PFPs over. That's what you started to see with Azuki.
I've seen some of that.
I have too.
The CEO of T1 is rocking a PFP.
I'm optimistic that Valhalla can pull off an Azuki like now. Because it's the bear market, I feel like an Azuki like run is up to 5, not up to not up to 10. Now, I think for it to do 10, you need something. They need to announce something that may staking, a token, a streamer. Like, what if they announced a big streamer was ready to go on their platform? Something like that.
Well, I want to see if their platform is ready to go. But yeah, cool thought from Dekenza. I think entertaining the idea of being able to stream on that platform would be fun.
Agreed.
Would you guys watch on Stacked?
I don't think
anyone has any like deep loyalty to YouTube.
Is it going to be called that?
I think that's what their platform is going to be called. It makes sense. I don't know if I like that name or not. It's easy to say. Follow me on Stacked. I don't know. Come check us out on Stacked. Live on Stacked. No, I don't know.
And then again, I think it's still...
It's not what it's going to be called, Catfish? If you stream on Valhalla, you're dead to me. Come on. It's not like we were sponsored by FTX for the past year.
I mean, you could tip us in utility tokens. We want to be tipped in utility tokens. Wait, has anybody tipped us any bits from Twitch?
No, I don't think we have that.
All the bits, haven't you? We've been making 1,000 bits a week. No, I'm just finding out.
Yeah, we don't make any money off this show. And like, check out this new Rolex I just bought. Oh. No, we do not have enough people watching on Twitch for that to be a thing.
We can't even accept bits, or we just don't have enough people that no one would even give us.
No, I don't think we can accept bits. You have to meet a couple of criteria. One is like the amount of time you've been on for, which we definitely have. You gotta average like a certain amount of concurrent viewers though, which we certainly do not have.
Yeah.
Although I've never fucked around with Twitch in terms of like how to get exposure on that. Maybe I'll poke around on the AlphaMint account too, because I'm sure there's missing something.
I would say that more people.
I stream on Twitch and do pixel art, and I can get up, to about 10 viewers watching that, and not all of them are just people I tell to watch me.
I would say more people have discovered the show organically through Twitch than any other.
No, YouTube for sure.
We have people who found us just through YouTube.
Oh yeah, YouTube analytics is actually pretty powerful. A lot of the post stream viewers, there's some good viewership on that as well. But you can tell if they're like returning viewers or subscribed or not subscribed and whatnot.
Nice.
Yeah, YouTube is the second biggest search engine in the world, right? It's essentially all it is. It's just a search engine indexing videos specifically.
Videos.
King Blackboard switch PFP. Yeah, like, but who is that? I mean, he wrote a nice thread on Twitter that like was great, and I know he's an ape.
And then the homie.
Did we? This is my question. Did we care about King Blackboard before Valhalla?
Again, he has 47,000 followers. I don't think he's specifically moving markets. But then we saw another guy who you may know, Bando who has like 10,000 followers buy his and tweet his out yesterday. But we're talking mainstream non-NFT people. Crypto people were wearing Azukis, right?
Deez made a Valhalla tweet.
Did he? Nice.
Yeah. Sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Those are the type of people that we need to see switch and keep talking about it, right? You need that Twitter buzz. So we'll see if that converts. If that happens, it could go higher than anyone expects. Hard to put a price on. Hype and FOMO can always go farther than you think, right? Like goblins, no one thought 9 ETH on goblins, so.
Deez said, I've had more people reach out to me in the last 3 days about this Valhalla I minted than the combined amount of people interested in the rest of my NFTs over the last month. Guess that's the current state of things. Oh, that's not a bullish tweet.
It's bullish on Valhalla, not the NFT market.
No, but like not from Deez's standpoint. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, no, it's good for Valhalla, 100%. I think there was a layer of frustration in that, though.
Well, he's trying to become, fine art OG NFT guy. So you have to look down on PFP projects and gaming.
He minted a nice one though. Good for him. Oh, now RIP Twitch is trending. What are we doing here?
Woo! We did it.
We're canceling everything.
Valhalla.
Oh, this is not Twitch, the platform. This is somebody actually passed away. That's sad. Well, I mean, you could see how I made that.
Well,
jump. Oh, Steven Twitch. Oh, that's not good. Sorry to hear that. I don't. Oh, so you think you can dance in Step Up movies? Oh, my bad. Cut that out of the show. Cool, man. All right, let's. I think we can start to wrap this up. A lot of people hanging around for the end of this show. Is this what we're transitioning to? Is just talking about movies, TV shows, travel locations, and Valhalla. Those are our subject matters from now on. Not even NFTs, just Valhalla. What?
The market will be back soon.
What are they? Catfish, did you I'm pretty sure you said no to it being called stacked. Do you have any more insight into that? Whatever. Oh, all right. Yeah. Start to finish this up here. What is your PFP?
It's a bull looking through a peephole in a doorknob in a door of a bear's house. He has just knocked on the door. The bear is now cowering under a blanket in fear. And I am sticking my face up to the peephole, like, hello, we're here now. Let us in. It's over.
You wouldn't watch the show on Stacked? The hell? You guys are all fine. Fine. All right, let's wrap it up. Guys, thank you so much. Episode 175 in the books. We talked about SBF getting arrested. Some life coming back into the NFT market. Ooh, we didn't talk about Binance, but Binance getting a stress test. We'll see. Don't know what that means. Please don't go down Binance. That would not be fun. Sappy Seal is
the only
above
thing
1 ETH.
We're
grasping.
If Binance doesn't go under, we're going back above $1,600. They need Binance
already. 1340 on ETH. Yeah, cool. All right. I'm going to I think I'm actually going to stream some pixel art a little bit after this. If you guys want to come hang out with me on Twitch, not on Stacked. Apparently, I'm not allowed to stream on Stacked. Haters.
They massacred my baby boy. What did they do to my boy?
I appreciate everyone's time. Do us a solid. Hit the like button on there. It's always appreciated. Yada yada yada. We will be back live for Friday, December 16th, episode 176. We'll figure out what to talk about. I'm sure some exciting stuff will happen. Well, we're definitely going to see the trade swapping live in action for Valhalla, so that'll be a topic. But other than that, we'll figure out some other stuff. Love you, appreciate you all. I hope everybody has a great Wednesday, and hopefully ETH is sitting at $1,500 by the time we're live on the next show. Who knows? Could happen. We'll see. Free market. Say the words.
Good luck at the Federal Market Open Committee today. Degenerates. See you later.